All right, you savages. I told you I'd do you a video on Wendler so we all understand what we're doing with this and where it comes from. So real quick, Jim Wendler was a powerlifter, or he is a powerlifter who wrote this, the outline of this program when he was trying to take a little bit different approach to his fitness and not so much as a powerlifter, but maintain and still get some gains without, he wanted to get some cardio and some other, he needed to get some other workouts in with what he was doing. So it's helped thousands, tens of thousands of athletes, weightlifters, powerlifters, bodybuilders, CrossFitters to hit their strength goals for many years now. I initially used it here for our CrossFit programming a few years ago in hopes to maintain athlete strength as we moved into the training cycle, preparing for the Open. But athletes, even ones who have been training for years, made great strength gains through this program. I like it a lot because it's fairly low volume, which makes it perfect for CrossFitters having to do a lot of other stuff to get ready for the games. We've got to do a lot of metabolic conditioning, gymnastics, mobility, and all that kind of stuff. So we don't have time to do an hour of weightlifting and then move on. You're able to PR a lot due to the last set, which is always an AMRAP, or as many reps as possible, which makes it pretty cool. Let's get into the details so you understand how this works coming into it. All the main lifts, the deadlift, the squat, the bench, and the press, the powerlifting movements, are done for 3 sets. The first 2 sets are kind of warm up, kind of work capacity sets to get everything greased, and they're set at a manageable percentage for the reps that you're doing. The last set is where the magic happens. It's the AMRAP, as many reps as possible. Give you a slight detour for the beginners. I want you still doing 3x5, but I want you to do 3x5 with perfect form and full range of motion until you hit a weight you can only do for 3 or 4. Now you can jump in with everybody else and do some projecting. So it doesn't matter if it's your first class and we're squatting and you do the bar for 5, and then you do the bar with 5 pounds on each side for 5, and then the bar with 10 pounds on each side. That's fine. I don't care. It's progressive. It's linear. You're making progress. You'll work up until the point where you can, and as long as your technique is good and you've got perfect form, you're not going to have any hassle from us. The important thing is that you record that, you put it in the tracking software, and then you move on. And the next time you come in, we're going to go up from there. So maybe you do the bar and then you go up by 10, and then you go up by 20s instead of doing 5s and 10s until you hit that point where you can't do anymore. Okay, now, the following will help everybody have working projected 1 rep maxes. Okay, so now that we're off, once the beginners have figured out where their 5 rep max is, then we can go from there. As a rule of thumb, or close enough for weightlifting, as I like to call it, it's a caveat, gives you the following info to start out with. If your 1 rep max is 100%, that's 1 rep at 100%, then you should be able to do 2 reps at 95% on a good day, 3 reps at 90% on a good day, 5 reps at 80%, 5 reps at 85%, 8 reps at 80%, and 10 reps at 75%. This will allow you to project working 1 rep maxes and figure out where you are in your strength cycle. Is it exact? No. But is it close enough for what we're doing? Heck yes. All right? Once you've been doing this for a while, you'll have solid numbers to work off, and and make sure that you're recording them in the software. If you're working off of somebody else's weight, or you just do whatever you feel, then you're not going to have that progression, and you're not going to be able to remember where you are. There's a lot going on. So be aware that a lot of times, especially women and men over 40, based on their hormonal response to weight training, their window between 75% and 100% is a lot smaller, which means they may be doing their 85% for 10, but their 1 rep max is where it's at. So if they try to do, if they've got a 1 rep max and they try to do 75%, they may hit 20 reps on that. But that doesn't mean that that's now your 20%. So these are all working. Once you get numbers, then you'll be able to see your gains, and you can work off of your 1 rep maxes and projected 1 rep maxes. So this is a great way to get in to start using the percentages. And every day, based on that AMRAP set, you're able to see where you are and see if you're close on your numbers. Is that going to vary? Sure, because based on how much volume you're doing that week, how much you've worked out that week, if you didn't sleep well, if your nutrition's on point, all those recovery factors. You need to be sleeping, eating, and recovering well. And if you're not, then one day you may be able to come in and pull a bunch of weight or push a bunch of weight, and then the next week you don't sleep well, you were traveling, you missed some workouts, or you did too many workouts, and now you're not hitting your numbers. You have to look at this on the long run. You have to look at it as an aggregate of the data points. You can't just look at one result and be like, oh, I pulled that for 10, I'll definitely be able to PR with my 1 rep max here. That's not what it means. You have to look at it over time and as an aggregate. So if you have any questions, get with me, get with the coaches. We're happy to go over it. I hope this understands why we're doing the Wendler approach. We've got a lot of conditioning to do coming up for the open, so we want to keep our volume down but still be pushing and making some strength gains, and I know that'll happen for everybody if you're consistent, you record your lifts, and don't miss your lifts. So 1% a day, stronger is always better and harder to kill. Thanks.